Have you ever gotten in your own way and sabotaged yourself knowingly, but most likely also unknowingly, where you were wondering, why did I just do that? I actually really wanted that. Or maybe talked yourself out of something that in the beginning when you first had the idea you really, really wanted, but then all of a sudden you just start changing your mind and kind of talking yourself out of it. If you ever had that, you probably realize it's kind of frustrating when you want to go about certain things, you really want to move forward, you want to do things, but then you're kind of holding back. You're holding yourself back. You're limiting yourself, and you don't even do this consciously. You may not even be aware that you're doing it. You're just all of a sudden wondering, like, why didn't I do that? Well, why am I not further along? What's going on here? Now, if you've ever had that, then this video is for you, because I want to share with you 7 tips that can help you stay empowered so you can overcome any self-sabotage for good. Because at the core of it, when we're talking about self-sabotage, at the core of it, it's fear in bold, underlined, really thick letters. Okay? Fear is at its core. Anytime you're talking yourself out of things, anytime you are holding back, anytime you're changing your mind, at the core of it, it is because there is fear. There's fear, there's doubt, and a doubt is connected to fear. Because, well, what if you do this? Then what if then that happens, and that happens, and what if your life changes? What if the world is going to end? Things like that. Most often those fears are at such a gigantic level that, of course, when you think about it, you're like, this is weird. It's not even really true. But for us, we feel that it's such a big level that oftentimes causes us to self-sabotage ourselves. And believe me, been there, done that many times. But I really want to share with you 7 tips that have helped me, my clients, to really overcome self-sabotage. Because for one, I just want you to know is you're meant to do the things that you really feel called to do. You're not meant to talk yourself out of it, hold back, limit yourself, and live a mediocre life. You're meant to live a fulfilling and meaningful and beautiful, adventurous, exciting life where you really do what you feel called to do, where you do the work that your soul has come here to do, where you really step into your soul's path. And that often causes fear to kick in. That often causes us to having to step outside of our comfort zone, which causes even more fear, right? But like I said, you are really meant to live whatever life your soul has come here to live. But unfortunately, we have free will. And free will also includes our ego, our personality, that likes to talk us out of things because it wants to keep us safe. Our ego, personality, it's not a bad thing. It's just bad if you give power to your power away to your ego, to your personality, to your fears. And with this video today, I really hope I can inspire you to really take your power back, give you the tools that can help you take your power back so you won't self-sabotage yourself again in the future. And if you are about to, at least you become aware that, oh, I'm about to sabotage myself again. No. Going back to my toolbox, I know my 7 tips, I know my tools of how to empower myself. I'm taking my power back. That is my intention with this video. So let's dive into those 7 tips so you really know next time you're self-sabotaging yourself what to do to really stop that, or even before you're getting in your own way, what you can do to prevent that from happening. The first tip here is, well, if fear is at the root of it, well, the first thing is then you want to uncover the fear. You want to uncover the fear that is sabotaging you or that could potentially sabotage you. So let's say you're not quite sure if you're sabotaging yourself, because in the beginning we're all unaware, right? It's not until we become more aware that we're actually realizing, oh, I did it again, or I'm about to do it again. So think of what you would love to do. Think of what is it that your soul is asking you to do, that is nudging you to do. Maybe you've had some insights into that thing that has been nudging at you for quite some time. Or maybe just started recently. Think of that. And then I want to invite you to really think long term, like you actually doing it, and pay attention to what fears are coming up, what doubts are coming up, what is coming up that feels negatively, that feels heavy. Get some clarity around that, and then get to the root of it. Like, where is this coming from? What is at the root of this fear? So let's say you want to maybe start a YouTube channel and really share your message with the world. You're really feeling called to maybe do oracle card readings, or just share your journey, share about whatever you want to share. And then that little voice tells you, nah, no, it's not the right time. Nah, who are you to do this? Come on, right? Then here I want to invite you to lean into that. Uncover, okay, I know I have this little voice, I have this fear. Well, what is this telling me? It could be fear of being seen, fear of being judged, fear of not being heard, right? It could be the fear of actually you putting yourself out there. It could be the fear of actually succeeding, the fear of letting yourself and other people down if it, for example, doesn't really work out so well, or maybe it takes a long time to work or whatnot. Maybe even there's fear of, well, what are your friends gonna say when you really come out of the spiritual closet and they're thinking of you like totally weird and, cuckoo or whatnot. Get clarity of what's at the root of your fear. That is the very first and most important step. Any of the other tips won't matter unless you uncover what is the fear. Because like I said, at the core of self-sabotage is fear. Fear is getting in the way of you taking action. Fear of something, fear of the consequences, so to speak. The good consequences and bad, because anytime you're doing something, you have potential bad consequences that you might be afraid of, and you have the potential good consequence that could happen. Well, the good consequence could be, so let's say you do want to start a YouTube channel, and then your YouTube channel is blowing up like crazy, and people loving your content, you're commenting, and they're just so loving your content. You're like, oh my God, I'm becoming famous. Okay? That could be the good consequence, but that too can be very scary, because then all of a sudden you're famous and people know you, and then, oh my God, right? I'm a celebrity. I know I expand a little bit on that. Of course, it's going to take time to get there, but who knows? It could blow up in a very short time, right? But the point here that I'm trying to make is you want to uncover what are the fears that you really have, both on the good side and the bad side, right? If things really work out, what are the fears then? Because, well, then your life is going to change. And maybe that is scary to you. Maybe then you're losing people that you love because then you're successful or whatnot. Maybe then people can't relate to you anymore, or people then want to take advantage of you because maybe then you have a lot of money and things like that. So get clear about the root cause, the root fear that you have. What's at the root of that fear? That is really the most important and really essential step in staying empowered, in taking back your power, and definitely overcoming self-sabotage. And of course, that also has a ripple effect to many, many other things. Your self-confidence goes up and you're more motivated, you're more inspired, all of that, right? But really get clear on what are those fears? What's at the core of that? And then you always go deeper, because when you have the awareness, you have the power of choice. That's always at hand. If you don't have awareness, well, you don't have choices, because then you're just on autopilot. So become clear about your fears. That's the first step. Then the second tip here is challenge your limited mind. When you have all these things coming up, all these doubts, all these fears, I want to invite you to really challenge your limited mind. And what I mean with that is, when you have your list of, let's say, I do highly recommend write down your fears down, like really write it down so you have something to look at so you can work with that. But then challenge each one. Look at each one. Like, if I do this, then this is going to happen. This is the fear that I have that this is going to happen. Is this really true? Do you have absolute proof that this is what's going to happen? You don't. You may think you do, because maybe of what you believe and, the past experiences or whatnot. but there is no absolute proof. You cannot prove that if I take this step now, then this is what's going to happen. You don't, because you don't know. It's your mind that is conjuring up all these fears of, what if? Oh my God, if I do this, this is going to happen. So challenge your mind. Challenge your limited thinking, your limited mind. Is this of truth? Is this of absolute truth? Do you have absolute proof that this is what's going to happen? Like I said, most likely you're going to get a big no. So here then you can say, okay, if I don't have absolute proof, like collective proof, like there's no proof, because maybe one of the fears is like it's hard to make money. Maybe this is your truth, right? But this is not a collective truth. Or if you say, well, growing a YouTube channel is hard. Maybe that's the truth that you think that you made your truth, but it's not a collective truth. Because if you're talking to different YouTubers or different, entrepreneurs or whatnot, they all will tell you a different story. For some, it's harder than for others. Some, they become successful right out the gate. They have less challenges than others. And that's because they have to go through their own stuff. Some people have more stuff to work through, more limiting beliefs and doubts and whatnot, and than others. Others may be more confident, so it works better for them. So as you can see, there's no collective truth here. Any belief that you have, you can challenge it. There is no proof that this is of truth, of the collective truth. And just because you think it is of your truth, is not the collective truth. So you can challenge that. And then here I want to invite you to uncover what is the higher truth here. The higher truth is, well, I'm good enough to get started. The higher truth is that this is just a limited thinking that I've been having, and I can let that go. I can adapt a different kind of thinking. The higher truth could be is that, well, you know what? If I put my mind to it, I can succeed. Yes, it may take a little longer, but it will take as long as it needs to. One of my mantras is that everything happens for a reason, everything happens to our highest and greatest good, and everything happens in divine timing. That has been my mantra for years now. So if things don't go the way I want, I'm like, okay, that doesn't mean I'm a failure and I can't do this. It just means that maybe I'm not ready for this yet. Okay, then I can do my work. Well, what is holding me back? And then I can grow into that. I never think that, oh, I'm failing because it's not working. Well, it's just, I'm not that person yet. I haven't grown into it yet. It's not time yet. Maybe there needs to be something else first that needs to happen before I'm ready for that, right? There is a divine plan to everything. And when you really allow yourself to go with the flow, just trusting that whatever is meant to unfold will unfold just the way it's meant to and in divine timing, then all you have to do is just show up daily, do what you feel called to do, trust it's all going to unfold, and take one step at a time. But here it's really, you want to challenge your limited mind, because your mind is going to throw all kind of stuff at you, trying to tell you why this is a really bad and stupid idea, why you should definitely not do that, because danger, you should not do that. Okay, so challenge your thinking. Second thing, challenge your limited mind. The more you challenge it, you will then also realize that, you know what, I've been believing a lot of lies. And that too can be very empowering, because then, again, you have choice. You have the awareness, and then you have the choice. Then the third piece here, the third tip is, you want to decide, what are you going to give power to? Do you want to give power to your limited mind, those fears, those doubts, the bad what ifs and all that? Do you want to give your power away to that? Or do you want to take the power back and focus on the good things, focus on the higher truth, and give that power to that? Give your power to that more empowered version of you. You always have that choice. Who are you going to give your power to? Or what are you going to give your power to? There are always two sides to everything, right? There's never just one side. You have the good, you have the bad, you have light, you have dark. So focus on, or decide, where do you want to give the power to? Do you want to continue being in doubt and fear, holding yourself back, limiting yourself? Or do you want to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and feel empowered? And even though you have no idea what's going to happen, you trust that everything is going to happen just as it's meant to, and to your highest and greatest good, and most of all, in divine timing. That if you follow that higher timeline, that your soul's path, that it's all going to work out. You have that choice. So next time you're afraid, next time you are about to hold yourself back, think about this. Who do you want to give your power to? Or what do you want to give your power to? Limitation or feeling empowered? It's your choice. When you have the awareness, you have the choice. And I also have a video I want to mention to you. It's in the description below. It's 8 ways to build up your self-confidence. Because the more confident you are, then you also feel more confident to really choose your power. You know, right? Really keep your power, or take your power back from the fears, from the doubts, and really go about your life in the most empowered way. So the link is in the description below if you want to check it out. Then the 4th tip here is think of all the good things that can happen if you were to act on that, and resist the urge to go down the rabbit hole and think about all the bad what ifs, because wherever you put your focus on, well, that magnifies, right? So if you're thinking about, oh my God, if I do this now, then this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, oh my God, well, then you are really ramping up that energy of that, oh my God, I don't want this, and you're magnifying that, and then what? That's what you're going to create. So instead, really resist the urge to go down the rabbit hole, because you do not know. We talked about, you know, the second tip is challenge your limited thinking. So all of those fears that you have, they're all these bad what ifs. They are not of truth. You do not have proof of it. So why would you give energy to that? Why would you focus on that? So instead, focus on all the good outcomes. Really think like, okay, if I do this now, I'm going to be this, and I'm going to be that, and I'm going to have this, and this is what's going to happen. Like, really think of all the good things that can happen, that can come from you taking actions. Focus on that. That is your time is well better spent focusing on the good outcome rather than the bad, because you want to magnify the good, not the bad, right? Then the 5th tip here is, as you're doing it, as you're thinking about, you know, the good things, you want to really visualize it. Visualize you actually succeeding, you actually doing it in the most powerful way, that you're actually doing it even better than you could have imagined. Like, for example, using the example of starting a YouTube channel. Let's say you're a little afraid of recording videos. And believe me, you know, I was a little afraid in the beginning too. But here what you can do is like really visualize, close your eyes, tune in, visualize you actually setting up your system, setting up your camera, and you're recording it, and you're in such a high vibration, and then you're releasing the video, and you're getting so many comments, so many likes, and so many views about your video, and they're all congratulating, like, oh my God, we loved your first video. Keep going, keep doing, you're amazing. We love to hear from you. Really imagine, visualize the absolute success of you actually doing it, you actually getting there, you getting to the other side, like you are actually being there already. Visualize it in great detail. Magnetize that, really magnify that feeling, like really amp up the excitement of you being there, you actually succeeding. Anytime you feel like a little held back or whatnot, really do this. You know, tune in and visualize you're doing it. Because your mind doesn't know what is real and what is not, what is imagined. So your mind doesn't know if you're actually doing it or if you're just visualizing it, right? Because your mind only sees pictures. So whether it's the pictures of you actually doing it or the pictures of you visualizing it. So when you're tuning in and you're visualizing it in great detail, and with it, you're also amping up the excitement, right? The feeling, like, not the feeling of fear, but the feeling of excitement. Like, yes, I'm doing it, I'm recording this video. Oh my God, this is so amazing, right? Really amping up that feeling. And it's like the mental rehearsal in a way. That when you're actually doing it, it's like a piece of cake. Which brings me to the 6th tip here is, take a deep breath. Count to 3 and then just do it. Especially if you're combining step number 5 and 6, really visualizing you doing it. Let's say you do want to get started with videos and you're really afraid. I want to invite you I like I said, and you can do this with anything else. Before you then like get everything prepared and then just sit there and really tune in, visualize it, really amp up that feeling. Then take a breath, count to 3, and then hit record or and take action. Do it. Really just do it. That can help you overcome any fears, any doubts, because you're giving yourself those 3 seconds and you're doing it, right? And when you're using that visualization, you're really amping yourself up that like, I got this, I can do this, it's not even that hard. And if you're having a really hard time with really being more empowered, I have a little program that I really want to mention to you. It's called Awaken to Your Inner Badass Self. It's a 5-day little program. Link is in the description, where I teach you how to be empowered. If you have really been challenged with that, if you want to really be more empowered, really tap into your inner badass self, because it's already within you. Then I want to invite you to consider joining me for this 5-day program. It's a mini program. Link is in the description below to really help you awaken to your inner badass self. I think you're going to love it. And now the 7th and final tip here is you want to celebrate your wins. After you've done whatever really scared you and was challenging to you, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I do this. You want to then take a moment, like, okay, I did this. Oh my God. Pat yourself on the shoulder. Yes, I got a win. I did it. And really celebrate it. And, see, the thing is, oftentimes we just go about our day. We do things like, okay, I did it. Okay, yeah, gotcha. I mean, it was a little scary, but I did it. Okay, and go about your day. But in order for you to retrain your brain, that it's not scary to actually step outside of your comfort zone and do something that really is quite scary and challenging and really cause you to step outside of your comfort zone, you want to pause for a moment. You want to acknowledge that, oh my God, I really just did that. And then look back like, you know what? It wasn't even so bad. I mean, all these fears I had, it was like for nothing, because it was a piece of cake. And you really acknowledge yourself that, oh my God, I did that. I overcame my fear. And allow yourself to then expand. Because every time you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, you're overcoming fear, you're growing. And when you don't allow yourself to kind of get used to that, to expand into that new version of you, you're missing a powerful moment. So celebrate your wins. Really take that time. Whenever you've done something that was a little scary, just breathe it in. Oh my God, I really just did that. I'm so grateful that I had the tenacity to really do this. And really feel yourself expanding. Feel yourself transforming because you just took action. You did something that was quite scary. You did something, you challenged yourself. Because anytime you overcome a fear, a doubt, or self-sabotage, you're growing, you're transforming. And that really asks to be celebrated, no matter how small it is. Nothing is insignificant here, okay? Anytime you're having even the tiniest win, acknowledge that. Give yourself a little, mental pat on the shoulder, like, you did this, like, high five, fist bump, something like that. Do something to really acknowledge that you have overcome something. You have overcome a fear. And then the next step is, this is like a bonus step is, do it again and again and again. Whenever fear comes up, whenever you're feeling like you're holding yourself back, go through these steps. This is so powerful. It doesn't have to take long. It's not hard. But the key point here is, number 1, is uncovering your fears. If you don't uncover your fears, well, then all the other steps are basically useless. Because the fears are never going away just because you're ignoring them. It's like the same with, like, if someone keeps knocking on your door, yeah, you can ignore it, but the knock doesn't go away. It becomes that eventually you're tuning it out so much that you're not even really recognizing it that much. It's just like the little annoying voice in the background, but it doesn't go away. It's the same thing with your fears. Just because you're ignoring it, just because you don't want to look at them and deal with them, doesn't mean they're going away. But what happens is, they will come at you, they will knock you off your feet when you least expect it, and when you least are prepared for it, and when you least want it to happen. Because the fear simply won't go away. It will keep sabotaging you. So really take that time to uncover that. And I also want to invite you, subscribe to my channel, because I'm about to release a video, an activation, light code activation, to really help you release any self-sabotaging behavior, any fears, anything like that that's really holding you back, that has you keep sabotaging yourself. That's going to be released here very soon, so be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you will get notified whenever I release that video, of course, and also any other videos as well. So here you go. I hope you enjoyed this video with the 7 tips of overcoming self-sabotage. If you did like this video, do me a favor, hit the like button. Maybe leave a comment below. Let me know, what do you do to overcome self-sabotage? Or do you even become aware whenever you're self-sabotaging yourself? I would love to know. So thanks so much for being here. Now be sure to check out this next video here about the 8 ways to empower yourself, to build up your self-confidence, and also be sure to check out my little program, Awaken to Your Inner Better Self. Link is in the description below. I think you're gonna love it. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Until then, make it an amazingly abundant, successful day. Namaste.